Okay, so I wanted to start this series, if you want to call it, to just be like a meditations on my training, things that I'm experimenting with myself for people that want to get stronger, and just some things that I've been kind of taking from other people as I've grown through the sport. So basically, my thoughts on training, if somebody wanted to get stronger, is that basically you want to expose yourself to as heavy as weight, as heavy of weight as you can, as frequently as you can, and allowing yourself to recover. So if somebody can do the snatch heavy twice a week, then they should. And if they're training 5 days a week, the other three would go to aiding and recovery for that lift, as well as technique work. So for myself, how I've been using it is I do a 3 RM on Monday and then a 1 RM on my day 5. So day 1 is a 3 RM, day 5 is a 1 RM. With that, I take my 3 RM on day 1 and then hit doubles with that same weight afterward. Now, this is just an experiment with the loading protocol, but basically the doubles afterward are to allow me to still accumulate enough volume to stimulate some sort of adaptation. But to say I need it, I don't know. I just want to feel it out. But if you have somebody who can give maximum effort in their training 3 times a week, then you'd have something much different. Maybe a day 1, day 3, day 5. And then the other 2 days would be to stimulate some sort of technique or something with like hang snatches or pause snatches. It really depends on what the athlete's weaknesses are. Now, nothing about this is revolutionary, but I will say I've been seeing very strong PRs with my lifts, especially in the jerk. I've been driving my push press, and I've been really happy with the progress I've been seeing. With one of my athletes, I've been doing this as well, and he said a big number that we've been chasing for a while. And I don't think this is new, but I certainly am a new adopter to it myself. I think in the past I've just leaned on volume simply because the work harder mentality often comes with doing more repetitions in a session. So changing my style to where I'm increasing my effort more frequently, I think has helped. And I don't think it requires us to go to failure. I think it's more or less getting close to maximum effort as frequently as possible. So when I say max, it doesn't necessarily mean that we need to max out, but to get close to maximum effort. So I think this is why a lot of programs do well by prescribing 90% on their lifts, or 80% or 80% for repetitions, simply because you're increasing the amount of effort or exposure to effort throughout a training program. And also how repetitions, like, so with this, the reason we can still get stronger on things like 5 sets of 5 or 5-3-1, not always having to just do a single, is because if you're going for 80% for 3 triples, and you know that that's what stimulates your strength gains. Basically, rep 1 would be 80% effort. But by the time you get to the 9th rep of those 3 triples, you're now getting close to maximum effort. So splitting it up like that gets you close enough to maximum effort to get the adaptations you're looking for. Also, it allows you to get more repetitions to hone in on better movement patterns. So I think that's why a lot of people can get away with loading schemes that are not just Bulgarian style or max every day. Basically, the amount of effort closest to your 1RM drives your 1RM strength. The flip side of this, a lot of times I would do higher rep stuff. So let's say I would do a couple weeks of tens, and then I see my 10RM increase, and then I test my 1 rep max back squat, and there's been no increase or a kilo increase, which is negligible to say the least. I think the reason for that is because when you're farther away from your 1 rep max, putting effort there, you're basically just increasing the rep zone that you're in. So if you're at a 10 rep max and that increases, well, your 9 rep max will get better, but not nearly as much as your 10 rep max. And then it's residual after that. So your 8 won't get as good as your 9, your 7 won't get as good as your 8, and then basically all the way down to your 1 is now there's nothing left to get stronger, which is nothing new. That's why specificity is so important. But you're going to increase closest to the rep ranges you're training in. So the benefit of being in the 5 and lower is that you can increase your strength in those rep ranges without having to have such a high load. So we see people who are, squatting in the 700s, they often say, well, I never test my 1 rep max. But they are training with triples, doubles, sets of 5, and these are all hypotheticals, but they're in those ranges. Well, it's close enough to their 1 rep max and increasing their effort that it raises their 1 rep max simply because they're close there. So that's all I really got for now, and so far it's been paying off in my training. But these are just some ideas that I want to really see through and push my training in this direction.